Hi, my name is Brooke, and this is Maker's Workshop. Today I'm here with my daughter Sara, and she's really excited to do the second installment of Sara Makes It to share how she's going to hand make her Valentines for her class this year out of conversation hearts and a whole lot of resin.
Let's get started.
First, I prepared my mold with silicone mold release. This will make sure the resin block comes out easily. I mixed up a small batch of Total Boat 2-to-1 epoxy and poured it in as a thin layer to thicken up. This will make a thin barrier so when I put the candy hearts in, they don't sink to the bottom. While it hardened, we went to CVS and bought as many candy hearts as we could find. I got mostly the original sweetheart kind, but I also picked out some Brack's tiny conversation hearts for in case those are better. Which was a good idea because the letters on the sweethearts weren't printed clearly at all. I thought maybe it was just a bad box, but it wasn't. They were all bad. Thankfully, the Brocks were much better, so Brooke went back and got more of those.
The CVS cashier is really perplexed as to what we're doing because I keep going back and buying more conversation hearts. And I was at the back of the line and she was like, "You're buying more hearts!" Like she screamed at me. And I was like, "Yeah!" And then I was
saying, "None of your business!"
No!
I love them! They taste so yummy!
Yeah.
I lined up the candies into my mold on top of the hardened resin in a pattern which happened to be lightest to darkest, with the words facing upwards. This took a lot of boxes of candy hearts. There's not that many in each box to start with, and I also only used the ones that weren't broken or smudged. And then I mixed up a larger batch of resin and poured it carefully over the top of all of them. After it hardened, it came out of the mold really easily. And then I could measure it and use the dimensions to make a design and easel to cut it into Valentines. I made heart shapes and set them to cut all the way through. And then I chose a couple of different words to carve in only through the top clear resin layer. And then I loaded the resin into the Carvey and ran the design. It looked great. I used the scroll saw to cut the tabs off of each heart. And then I sanded each heart with a sanding sponge and used canned air to get all of the dust off. I used a glossy wipe-on poly to finish them. I wiped on a thin coat using a clean cloth and let them dry overnight. I ended up needing to do 4 batches of hearts to be sure that I had enough for everyone. I also was able to make changes to my design to carve a few extras out of the scraps.
You've done things pretty similar to this before, but was there anything that you learned from this project in particular?
I learned that if you pour resin too thick over conversation hearts, it will burn.
Yeah, they did burn actually. There's little brown spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not put in the video, but it happened.
And what made it get so hot? Do you remember?
I poured it too thick.
Yeah. That's okay. It's a really easy mistake to make. Was anything harder than you expected it to be?
I learned that it's really difficult to have the attention span to place individually a bunch of conversation hearts into a really large piece of resin in rainbow order.
Yeah, I mean, we sped it up in the video, but how long did it take, do you think, to place the hearts for one sheet?
An hour.
Was there anything that was easier than expected? Because oftentimes things are easier than expected too.
It's actually really easy to make the design on easel.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste.
Yeah.
Change one thing, Control C, Control V.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Last year I made something similar to these and it was a hit.
Fine.
And you can make that stuff at Maker's Workshop in Maynard. Come check us out if you
She's
live
out
nearby.
of control!
If you liked this video, feel free to click that subscribe button and smash the like.